I want to talk about John Daly because he's been a bit of a traveller, Stockport County, Hartlepool United, of course. Then you picked him up and took him to Dundee United. What's the qualities? Tell me a bit more about him.
Well, I signed him. One of my first signings actually. I was looking for a target man, somebody to hold the ball up with a physical presence. I watched him play for Hartlepool a few times. Obviously, I knew his history. Over from Ireland. I'm quite sort of fond of taking Irish players. I feel that their attitudes are usually spot on. So yeah, I signed him. He's had a hell of a time with injuries since he was at Dundee United. Missed almost 2 seasons with various different serious injuries. I'm really pleased for him. He got back into the side this year. He's had pretty much an uninterrupted campaign. He scored quite a lot of goals. He's assisted young David Goodwillie, and he's scored a hell of a lot of goals this year. So he's been an important player for Dundee United, and he's such a great guy as well. It's important when you have good guys that come in the dressing room.
And on the pitch, physical presence is something that really is important, and he's got it in abundance, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And as I say to you, it takes a strong man to get through the kind of injury problems that he's had, and he's mentally very strong, and he's a great leader on the pitch, a great example to other players, and also with the way he's responded to the injuries that he's had. He's got his head down, worked very hard, and he's managed to come out the other side, and couldn't have been happier for him to see him lift the trophy and get a medal.
And how far can he go?
Well, he's had an interrupted career in the last 2 or 3 years, so I think he's going to get better once he, this season, anything that he does this season, I think he'll improve on next season. He's got such a good attitude that he'll go as far as he wants to go.
And Sunderland, Craig Gordon has been in outstanding form this year, and I know you're a big fan of his. Tell us a bit about him.
Well, Craig, when I was a Hearts manager, I gave Craig his debut for Hearts, and normally when you put young players into a team, you find that 5 or 10 games later you take them back out and rest them for their own benefit because their form has dipped a little bit. That didn't happen with him. Once he got into the team, he stayed in the team, and remarkably played over 100 games in a row. So early on I recognised that he was a special player. There's not many players move from Scotland for £9 million, and that's what happened with Craig when he went to Sunderland. And the way he's playing just now, the Sunderland supporters probably wouldn't thank me for saying it, but there's a chance that one of the bigger clubs might come sniffing.
Is that good? And the qualities of him, what do you like so much about him? Is he a number one?
Yeah, of course he is. He's when he's fit and available, he'll play for Scotland. I watched him a number of times this year. And he was Sunderland's best player. He got to go over that broken arm that he had, and he's I think he's got to get the screws or the plate out or something in the summer. But he's very confident that he'll be ready for the start of next season. He's such an unflappable guy. He doesn't get excited at all during games. He managed to keep a fairly level head, and he's got great natural goalkeeping ability. He reaches things that other goalkeepers can't reach. He makes stops, and I think he's particularly great in one-on-one situations. I think he's got the attributes to go all the way, and I wouldn't be surprised to say if one of the big 4 teams in England showed an interest in him.
Andy Carroll at Newcastle United is someone you're a big fan of, been mentioned with the squad. You're looking at his history and the old Jack Charlton thing, trying to find out if there's any connection there. Now, what's the situation with that?
Well, I'm dead keen to try and get Andy involved with Scotland. He's one of his grandparents has got Scottish blood, so he's a smashing player. He's somebody that I feel would be a great asset to the Scottish national team. There aren't many guys around these days like him. Somebody who's tall, athletic, and really good in the air. He's fantastic touch, and he's had a great season for Newcastle. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it'd be very difficult for him to break into the England side, and I'd like him to come on board. If he's keeps improving the way he has done in the last year or so, then I think he's going to be a fabulous player.
And it's a big step up again to the Premiership. How do you think he'll do there?
I think he'll do well. He's got a good attitude. I've watched a lot of his games this year. He's a young boy. That season, Newcastle supporters probably wouldn't agree with me, but that season maybe didn't do Newcastle a world of good, but certainly done Andy Carroll a world of good, stepping down a level just so he could play every week and learn the trade. And improved as the season wore on. And I think there's a hell of a lot more improvement to come in him.
Of course, another guy up in the northeast, Barry Robson at the Borough. Thoughts on him?
Well, Barry was a player of mine at Dundee United, and from day one I admired his skills. I think the big change in Barry was maybe 6 months into my time at Dundee United, when he really began to sort of focus and concentrate on his football, and his improvement's been remarkable. Very quickly moved from Dundee United to Celtic. And the games I've seen him playing for Borough, he's been excellent this year. He was included and played in the last game, my first game for Scotland. You know, I know his capabilities. I know what kind of guy he's. A real winner. He doesn't like to go on the field any time and lose matches. So yeah, he'll be an important player for Scotland as well.
World Cup not too far away now, just weeks away. Who's your money on to win at this time? Then who do you think will be the top sides?
Yeah, I just feel that any time it's outside Europe that you've got to look at Brazil. You know, and they would be my team. It's not anything exciting, and nobody's going to make fortunes by backing them. But I feel that, you know, when it comes to World Cups and when it comes to outside Europe, they've always got to have the best chance, I think.
In England?
Well, I think it'll depend on just whether the important players that England have got managed to fire and play to their capabilities. Certainly they've got the players, I do believe that. Whether they can put it all together, who knows? But I mean, I do think they've got the players to do it.